All right, we're back for another episode of the Prospect, Produce, Prosper podcast with Marc Rogers. I'm James Andersen. Marc, it's great to be with you.
There's so much going on right now in the world, right? We're amidst the all of the new stuff going on with Trump and Biden, and it's kind of interesting where we sit with interest rates. And we thought for sure we'd see some massive rate cutbacks as we finished up 2023. We thought by now we'd see some significant rate cuts. Haven't really seen that yet. Seems like inflation is at an all-time high and buzzing, and it seems like there's almost more uncertainty than ever. And then you add an election cycle on top of it. So it's just there's a lot going on. An exciting thing, or at least I think something exciting, is my second book has already hit an Amazon bestseller. And this was the book that I did with several other advisors. We all kind of took part in authoring this book. So I'm not a sole author on it, but I'm a co-author with amongst other professionals. And this is the book that I had my national TV spots on. A box showed up the other day, and so that's kind of an exciting thing going on. Of course, my first book, Navigating Retirement in the New Economy, that's still going great. And so just a lot going on, man. It's exciting times.
Yeah, it's great to have those books. You take it from a standpoint of, as a producer yourself, speaking to kind of a general public audience, which I think is really helpful that you've had that background. You're a producer yourself. You've seen all this stuff, and to be able to address the needs of these retirees. I mean, you go out and you do these seminars 100 times a year. You know what you're talking about. With that, I think it leads into what I want to talk about today, which is sales. There's a whole lot of uncertainty in the market. You mentioned some of it with the election cycle coming on, rates in the market. Retirees are maybe more so now today concerned about what's going to happen in their retirement. What it gives is a perfect opportunity for financial advisors to get in front of these prospects and gain clients. This is a time when they can go out, and because of the uncertainty, there's a lot of people looking for answers, and they have a chance to provide those answers. And yet, it seems like one of the biggest problems that advisors face is sales, and knowing how to really position themselves, not just from a marketing standpoint, but once they have that appointment set on the books, turning that prospect to a closed client. And so I want to talk about that today, because really the second facet of your guys' business, you have the prospect, which is all about marketing. And we have a lot of episodes where we'll talk about that, or you have talked about that. You have the second facet, which is about sales. And then you have the third facet, which is about prospering, or creating an operational, scalable system in every advisor's practice to where they can create the wealth for themselves that they want. But hitting on this second point, it really doesn't matter, does it, how much marketing an advisor does if they haven't learned the skill sets and the tools to close business. It sometimes can feel very frustrating for some of these advisors, doesn't it?
Well, it does, James. And I think of the three major things that advisors most commonly have as headwinds in this business. Number one, getting in front of people, right? Getting in front of qualified people that fit their ideal client. Number two, have something to say when you get in front of them, so you're effective at making them a client. And then third, making sure that your business is being processed quick enough and effectively so that that sales process is easy, creates a good experience for the investor, and helps you get paid as quickly as possible. So this call, I think we're going to really focus on, and this year it's really been a theme of mine, which is now we can help you get in front of endless amounts of leads, whether that's through live events, whether that's through digital marketing, whether that's through our drip practice that you really helped come on and refine and really make effective. Or down to just getting favorable introductions from your ideal clients and getting referred over and over again. We've really got that nailed down. I think we do that really well. The next part, which I think is just as important, as the sales and closing process. So we're wrapping up tomorrow our first round of 6 weeks of a mastermind group, and it's shocking already to see the results. And there's a couple of things that I really liked what we did with this first mastermind group, which is one, we kept it at a small amount. I think it gets frustrating when and I've done this myself. I've paid for coaching only to find out you get on and you're part of 100 people and you're sitting on Zoom or you're sitting in a classroom and it's not interactive. And so tuning out seems to be really easy and you kind of lose, you don't get the full value. So one, we went small group, high interactive. Everybody's getting a chance to participate. Everybody's getting a chance to engage and get it made about them. The other thing that I think we did is we brought it in at a low cost. So, we wanted to make it really affordable for new agents and then those experienced ones wanting to redefine or retool their practice. The other thing that I think is no greater than having your peer work with and coach, like having somebody that's actually in the field doing it just like you. So I'm one of the instructors, and that's great. Even better, good, better, best. What's best is we brought in Izelfi Taylor and the Taylor method. Zelfi Taylor is one of my longtime best producers, best advisors. He's nationally recognized for his production, so his sales speak for themselves. He's a guy that I know just absolutely practices what he preaches. And number two, he's not new to the training process. He went out and created. I remember when he used to carry around mini CDs of his coaching program, and he's been hired by big names, big mutual companies like Mass Mutual. New York Life has hired him. Even companies like Allianz Life and other major insurers actually hire him, where he comes out to their national meetings and does stage time and helps train other advisors. So you're getting sort of this once in a lifetime experience that you can dive into the mind of a mega closer. And we as independent advisors don't very often get access to that. And again, that's something that doesn't cost you half of your commission or your business for a lifetime, right? Or some indentured servitude type of thing that you're kind of giving up to get this access. And you see immediate results, like things that are takeaways for me about what we've done is that you can listen to a Wednesday 90-minute training. You can practice. You actually get a chance to practice and engage. And Thursday, you can have an impact into your business. So already we're collecting these testimonials from some of these advisors that are new or even 20-year veterans, 30-year veterans, where they're going out and closing. We had an advisor in Las Vegas who recently came to us because he was struggling with, closing and getting in front of and wanted to really more fully develop his practice. He wanted to grow his practice. He came onto the coaching program. We haven't even actually started marketing yet. So this is just him utilizing our skills that he's learned through our mastermind class. And he closed the most amount of business he ever did in a month. Business that he was writing in a year, closed in a month by just using our sales processes. So I love to see those immediate wins and people getting excited. I think what drives me personally is when I see those things that we've taken, implemented where we think is tremendous amount of value, that an advisor takes it, implements it, and has great success. And you said it best, James, of what's interesting about marketing, right, is you can do hundreds of seminars. But if you're not closing, for whatever reason, sometimes our mental says that the seminar doesn't work because we're not closing business. And the reality is the seminar did its job. Did it get you in front of a group of people? Checkbox, yes or no? Yes. Did it bring you appointments? So is the information effective enough to create urgency to get you in front of those people? Check yes or no? Yes. Were the people qualified? Did they have enough assets that you felt we're worthy of making them an investor. That's like a 90% yes, right? The X factor where it comes to ROI is, are you an effective closer? Can you close that business? And from my experience, this is where the roadblock starts to happen. We get in our own way. We don't have a sales process that's defined. We don't know what to say to help convert those people to becoming clients. And that's where this mastermind, and really that's what our conversation is about today.
So let's go over that. First and foremost, what are some of the biggest mistakes that advisors are making? And on top of that, what are the solutions that you guys are providing in this 6-week training to solve those issues?
If you don't tell yourself every day, I'm $1 million producer, then you're never going to be $1 million producer, you know? And going along with that, one of the biggest mistakes is I think advisors who want to work with, let's say, more affluent investors, or you want to scale your business up to have better people that you work with, there's a comfort zone that maybe people spend too much time with kind of B and C clients. So if you look at most advisors' practices, they have that old 80-20 rule. 80% of their income comes from 20% of their business. And there's this comfort level of the B and C's that you spend a lot of time on that aren't going to be great referral partners, that aren't going to, because you don't know how to necessarily scale your business up. So what Azelphi trains on is how to grow more A clients, how to scale your practice so that every person that you're meeting with is somebody that's qualified, they're committed, they're coachable, they're that perfect candidate for how you can help them. I think the other thing is really having what to say, like using proper language. Language matters today. Say this, not that. And there's so much social science, right, that's around this that just validates what Azelphi is like practicing and teaching himself, and not taking that social science approach, but just here's when I said this worked. When I said that definitely didn't work, right? So taking his language and really evolving it to you and your story, because at the end of the day, you got to own it, but really being mindful of the language, that we use. Making sure that you have your day set out and properly organized. Again, I go back to some of the challenges that I see most advisors have. Most advisors are wearing so many different hats, because we tend to say, I want to do it right, or maybe I don't want to hire an extra person, or gosh, I can do my own paperwork. And then we're frustrated because the paperwork doesn't get processed or doesn't get right. The servicing of your clients is just as important as making the sale up front. Yet most of us don't want to spend that time servicing because we're constantly looking for new sales. We want to be our chief marketing officer. We want to be our CEO. We want to be the closer. We want to be the service person. And that just, if you're looking to grow and scale your business up, it's getting yourself organized to do those things that matter most, that probably end up making you the most amount of money, and then being able to figure out how to delegate all those other things that you shouldn't be doing. So if you're going to scale your practice, really investing back into the business properly to have those people do the things that they're really good at, and then also relieve you from the things that don't make you the most amount of money, or you don't have the expertise in, or don't understand. And so Azelphi really does a great job of proof in that concept of how to organize down to your day. Here's what an ideal day looks like that you should have, that you should follow. So all of those tips and tricks, down to your elevator story, like really practicing that when you're at a social event, or you're at the park with your family, or on a vacation, or you're in those scenarios, you're at a gala or whatever it is, that you have the proper way to use language to get somebody interested, and it doesn't come off in a salesy type of way. So I really think, handling objections, what to say when somebody says. And the great thing about all of this training, James, at the end of the day, is we're product agnostic. Like, this isn't a how to close more annuity business. This is really how to make you a better salesperson in general, or a better advisor in general. Zelfie and I, it doesn't matter green, red, yellow, blue. It doesn't matter what you're selling. So it does work in all different aspects of an advisor's practice. So I could have a pure RIA on the call, or I could have a PNC person, and it works for for all those people. I love when Azelfi says, stop selling products, and start solving problems. If you're solving the problem, the product, the investment, the trust, the tax return, whatever it is, right? All of that just falls into line and comes from it. Yet too often we're ready to sell a product. Stop selling products, solve more problems. So I took a couple of the weeks personally where I'm training on my referral or favorable introduction process. You and I are presenting tomorrow on drip marketing and how to be the best, how to make sure you're maximizing staying in front of and being relevant in front of our clients, which I think in 2024 has never been more important, is just that constant face and education. So gosh, for 6 weeks, it's a lot. The good news is that it's not a community or a program, I should say, that it ends in 6 weeks and then poof, it's gone. We're gonna do a monthly Ask Me Anything. So once a month, that group's gonna get back together and we're gonna bring Azelfi back in, and you get a chance for an hour to like ask he and I anything that you want to, and we're gonna answer those objections. We're also available via email and working, constantly together. And then Taylor Method, if you go to taylormethod.com has his entire sales process. So what you also pick up is 12 months free access to all of his videos. You get all the downloads of past presentations. So you're getting all of his handouts and other things that are a tremendous amount of value. We could have sold this thing at 15, 20,000 as a training program. We wanted to have some skin in the game, so that's why we made it very affordable. But man, I'm so excited about it. I'm excited for this new group in September to come in, because if you can just keep training, if you can make people better. And what's crazy, James, about all of this is if an advisor just makes 1 or 2 more sales than they're already making.
Well, and what's interesting is that this training, at least with the advisors that I've talked to who've already been part of this program, is that not only is it allowing them to maybe close a few more deals, but it's increasing also the value of each deal that they do.
You hit the nail on the head that we try to overcomplicate. I think when I sit, and I've sat in hundreds and hundreds of meetings with advisors who say they want me to see them live and what they say in front of somebody, and people and advisors have wealth of knowledge in general, right? Like typically they know their trade, they know their story, and they just are so excited to share it with you, and they just want to unload. And the reality is the most sophisticated clients can just be instantly confused and lost when you just start using industry jargon, things that don't correlate to what they're asking. Simplify what you're talking about. Simplify it. And then number 2, practice simplifying it. Like grab an industry partner. Maybe it's your wife. Like grab somebody that you just say, hey, let me just practice on you and have this conversation. Here's the other thing that I've come to the conclusion on. We are so smart. And I have this gift of the gab, right? And most of us do if you're in this industry. Here's what I want to say, James. Most people can get investors to take action when they simply ask open-ended questions. Open-ended questions that result in conversation so that you can dig in and find out more and really hear. So not only do you have to ask open-ended questions, but then you got to listen. And then you got to deliver what you're hearing and do playbacks. So things like, tell me how you feel about. Then when they respond, James, I want to really make sure I heard what you said. Did you say da 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 da, right? Did I get that right? Is there anything else you would want to add to that? Do you see how that changes? And by having those questions that you're asking and having those and be prepared with those questions, it allows us to not talk as much, allows us to keep it simple. Typically, by asking the right questions, people are going to feel like you're listening to them, like you really care. You're going to be the one giving that solution, and you're going to be able to answer whatever their thing is that's hanging them up, right? Or that they're worried about, or that they're trying to accomplish.
To wrap this up, those that are interested, for our listeners that are interested, we invite you to go look at faststartclosemore.com. It's the page that we've set up where you can go and sign up for these for this program. It's a 6-week program with year-long access to the recordings and other trainings and Ask Me Anything on a monthly basis, calls with Azelphi. With that, Marc, any last words of wisdom for our listeners?
If you go on to producersprospect.com, you can click right onto the Calendly link, and that takes you to my personal calendar. And I'm happy to sit down and meet with anybody that clicks on that, see how we can help you grow. We're mid-year. We got another second half of the year. This is going to be a massive second half of the year. There's so much mounting that says that we need to get out. We need to tell our stories better. We need to be better advisors. And we want to help you along the way and watch your success and grow together.
All right, you guys, we'll see you on the next episode.